All right, this has just gone like next level crazy is what it's gone. My Mayday friend turns a perfect 14,000 days old on the blue moon. Now, this all falls into that 33 progression lands right on the next total solar eclipse of 2024. Let's go back over that. Trump's number 6 times 14 times 1946. His number is 163464. Mine is 7 times 6 times 1961, 82362. She turned that many days old on March 11th, 2022. 33 days later, I turned that many days old on April 13th. 33 days later was a total lunar eclipse. And we have been tracking that 33 progression ever since. But I kind of cut it off. I didn't think a whole lot about it. I just sort of cut it off here. December of this year, which is actually her husband's birthday. Well, would you believe that it ends up falling on the total solar eclipse? April 8th. What in the world? Am I right? That's just crazy. I was in the wrong year. I'd already taken it out. I didn't realize it did that in 2024. Nutty beyond all nuttiness. What in the world did I just do? All the 33, then you get 66, then it's 99, then it's 132. You get to 2024, it lands right on. It's 759 days from when it all started. It's the 23rd progression. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous crazy is what it is. And so, yeah, she turns 14,000 even when I turn 22,700 even. But she's 38 years, 3 months. So there's 383 combination on the blue moon. My goodness. She's got Eve coding in there. 12096. You know 2096 is Eve. And Strong's Concordance, New Testament. She's also got the murder code 383 and the percent of the year. But it gets better. How do you get better than that? On the total solar, that makes it X across America, she's 38,117. But 14,222. 14222, which is Eve coding. But it's Acts 14:22. We all through much tribulation enter the kingdom. Just mind-boggling. I can't even begin. It's just, how is all this stuff connecting up? And, you know, I've already told you it was 251 days in both directions at the midpoint of August 12th, right in the middle of the 2 total solars, which also was a day that sat in the middle of 2 total lunars, 88 in both directions, 251 in both directions on August 12th, 2022, and the day Sirius the dog star rose, all in one day. Nothing happened except major stuff going on in my personal life that led to a death 17 days later. And I want you to look at this 122, 87, 808 or 88. Because it was on 122. Remember that my second wife came and picked up the divorce papers from the school that my Mayday friend and I worked at. Absolutely mind-blowing. 467. 4677. Well, I know what that 67 is. I'm not going to get into that, but that's gigantic. So, but it's 251 days between the two total solars at the midpoint in 2022 on August 12th, with the day Sirius Dog Star rose, and two total lunar eclipses was a midpoint. Well, it's also 251 days from the full moon that kicks off the blue moon, the first full moon in August 1st. It's 251 days to the total solar. So another total solar that's related to a, instead of a midpoint this time, it's a full moon. The first full moon of the two in August. The second one's makes it the blue moon. If you go to it, the 830, it's 222 days. You go to the first one, 251 days. 8 months, 7 days. Well, if you include both, it's 8 months, 8 days, isn't it? It's 88. But 87 was Candy's original marriage number. And 251 was she and I. My original marriage number was single digit, was 5. Began with 5176. Me and my first wife combined. That's the marriage number. This is just coding the Lord gave me way before he called me to the word. And then he called me to the word, and then he showed me that all of those numbers, this is not a numbering system found at any pagan website, book, nothing. It's unique. But 5 times 5 is 25. That was my single digit marriage number, 5. Hers was 8. My number begins with 8. Her number begins with 5. Matter of fact, her number begins with 55. Remember that? 10 times 28 times 1973. She came to 55244. 55. My first two marriages, she was my second. But getting back to the point, 51 was my original marriage progression. 25 was my marriage to her. 5 times 5 is 25, fused with a 51. And remember, the total lunar was 88 in both directions. And I was her 88. She was my 52, because the 51 progresses to 52. Her first husband, her first marriage, her original marriage number begins with 87. And I was her 88. So you have the 87 and the 51, both right there. I just now realized that. If you include both, it doesn't work, because it shrinks to 86 and 250. It goes in the other direction. I just thought of that too. If you include both dates, oh, it does. What was I thinking? That's right. It would increase it. So if you include both dates, she was my 52 and I was her 88. And Trump is Candyman and I'm Candyman. You get just the opposite here than you get with him. With here, you get the most told truths in the Bible than you will find anywhere else. I don't know every single thing in the Bible. To know everything in the Bible is to be Jesus. But there's nobody that tells as much truth as we do. We've proven that. And that's not to brag. What is that? That's why haven't had sex since 2012. What is that? I don't even know how to explain it. Oh, but when I tell you it's not bragging, it's to tell you stay away from false teachers, false websites, false YouTube channels. Got questions? I subscribe to them to see what they say. They lie right out their rear ends because they run it all. Anyway, that's fascinating. Love you. It's crazy.